is such a community but also globally minded organization, and that I think is what Deep Energy Retrofits are also about. Deep Energy Retrofits really are about saving the environment one house at a time or one building at a time, and really trying to go very intensely into the energy usage of the building, and not just plugging some gaps, but to really look at every aspect of the building and how you can make improvements all the way through. And Stone Soup really seized that opportunity. When the fire happened, it was a great moment to really be able to dig into every aspect of the building. Because one problem with a deep energy retrofit is that you really do have to rip into all the walls and get into all of your systems. And when you have the opportunity to do that, it's great to seize that opportunity. It doesn't always make sense for every house, so it's really something that everybody should know about, to be able to seize those opportunities when they exist. And it makes a huge difference for the community, because now this building is so much more usable than it was before. It's so much more comfortable than it was before, and it's lower energy bills that leaves more money for the programming and all the great organizations that are using this building. And I think that the most exciting part of the Deep Energy Retrofit here was the training part, and the fact that there were so many people that learned the new skills along the way. Because not only is it frustrating as a new person learning a skill to not be able to plug in and get the skills that you're learning in the field, it's also kind of scary as a homeowner, as a building person, to have a complete new person doing the work on your building. So to be able to have that come together in Stone Soup, where you had all of these people working together, and someone who was willing to refill a couple of bays that needed refilling, or something like that, really meant that a lot of people could learn the skills in a place where it was safe and not long-term becoming problems that nobody knew about later on. So it took a community effort to make that happen, and that was really exciting to see. Just to back up a second, Deep Energy Retrofits are attacking the energy usage of a building, and so that involves, for example, going after idiosyncrasies, like there was a chimney that went right up through the building that people weren't using very much, but it was letting a lot of energy escape, so the decision was to take that down. The windows needed to be replaced, mostly because the firemen had smashed them all to get the air out of the building so the fire would stop. And so that did need to happen, and that meant that when the new windows went in, they were really efficient windows. And the walls had all been water damaged, and so they got re-insulated, and new ventilation was put in so that through the bathrooms, so that we got fresh air into the building. And the entire envelope was air sealed, and I think there was a blower door test done recently, but there's a little bit more air sealing that's going to happen, I think. So all of these different aspects were approached at this one building, and that's really important for the Deep Energy Retrofit, because you want to look at the building as a whole to make sure that, if you just insulate without air sealing, you could end up with mold problems, or you want to make sure that you look at the building as a system before you do any major impacts to the building. So we did a Deep Energy Retrofit on our house because it had holes this big that squirrels had chewed into it, and it was a project that we were looking for. My husband and I are both architects, and we moved to the small town that Matt and I are actually from. He's my brother. And we were looking for a project, and so we found this house that had been abandoned for 5 to 10 years. Nobody could tell us exactly how long. There were 15 squirrels living there, and that was an opportunity for us to do this kind of deep energy retrofit work. And I really believe in retrofits instead of tearing down and rebuilding, and there were a lot of times during our process when we had to really stick to that belief, because a lot of people were saying, why are you doing this? You're really tearing so much out of the building. Is there anything left? And I really think that there is stuff left, and I think that was the decision here too. There was a lot of discussion about whether this building could be salvaged in any way, and I think the answer is a resounding yes. It's so beautiful what people have done here, and all of the trim that's remained in the staircase, and all. This space is really a great value, and it was a lot of work to keep it that way. And I think that is such a profound form of recycling, to be able to keep all of the building that was here. I don't know if anyone is familiar with the concept of embodied energy. But there's an amount of energy that goes into the materials that you're using in building, And being able to keep all of the structure that was here and the amount of walls that were able to be kept, those didn't end up in a landfill, and those didn't have to be trucked here again. And you know, all of this energy that's involved, it was a huge amount of recycling that happened in this building. So, so that's Deep Energy Retrofits in a nutshell. There's also, I think I saw some flyers out there that Mark Rosenbaum is doing some Deep Energy Retrofit workshops, and I think one of them is at
WPI.
Yeah.
I think there's one at Merrimack and one at Smith. We have some, you get flyers here? Good, good.
And I don't know if anyone affiliated with schools could maybe get the fee funded by the school or anything like that, but Mark is an absolutely incredible speaker. He has all the information, and he's a really wonderful person to learn from. So if you're interested in learning more in detail, he's really great about that. And I'm also absolutely happy to answer any more technical questions. And I think during the tour, we were thinking maybe we could look at some of the stuff in, you know, part of the issue with Deep Energy Retrofits is everything kind of gets covered over, so you can't really look at it anymore. But that's a good thing, you know, you end up with a space that's not about the nitty-gritty, but it's really more about the space and being able to use it. But, you know, if anybody has questions, they're welcome to ask.